think I was wrong about this run. I did an overview of the Thor Omnibus by Donny Cates just the other day, and I absolutely loved that run while it was coming out. Like I said in that video, a lot of times when that issue was out, it was my pick of the week during the new comic book day reviews. And then Donny Cates had the Hulk run, and I want to say this is the last material that he created for Marvel Comics. It was during the time when Thor was coming out. There's a crossover event, and I remember not liking the Hulk run. I remember being confused about Starship Hulk and what was real, what was in his mind. And I don't know if it was just because I was reading a lot of titles during that time or who knows what, but upon revisiting this, I'm really liking this run. I just started to flip through it to familiarize myself with it before doing this video. I ended up reading issue 1, issue 2, 3, 4. Before I knew it, I read half the omnibus in one sitting, and then today I finished it off, and I did read this entire run again. And yeah, I have a lot to say about it. Let's take some overhead shots, take a look at the book itself. We'll look at the artwork, talk about the story, and all that good stuff. Let's dive into the Hulk Omnibus by Donny Cates. And of course, we have Ryan Ottley on the artwork. He would actually take over writing duties towards the end of the run as well, which we'll talk about a little bit more. This is the regular cover that's scheduled to come out on November 13th. There is a Ryan Ottley direct market variant as well, with Hulk smashing on the ground. But this one is a good cover, man. You got the Hulk with the Titan Hulk coming from out of him. So we'll talk more about Titan Hulk as well, I'm sure. Here's the spine. It is a thinner omnibus, as this is only a 14-issue run, but it does have Hulk vs. Thor, Banner of War Alpha, and Thor 26. So there's only 16 issues in this omnibus, plus a little bit of material from the Free Comic Book Day 2021, Avengers/Hulk, and Thor 25, which is the prelude to this run. So being that it's only a handful of issues, it is $75. That is the cover price. But the beautiful thing about the omnibus format is that you can get it for less than cover price while they're still in stock. Organic Price Books has both covers available right now for $62. You can pre-order it now, and you can save an additional $2 by using the code GEMMINT at checkout. They have quick shipping and great packaging to make sure your book will get there undamaged. And if you're overseas, it's the same thing, but you check out comicsbugle.com. Discounted upon release. You can save an extra $2 by using code GEMMINT at checkout. They also offer free shipping, no taxes, or import fees if you're in the EU. So Comics Bugle is a great resource if you're overseas. The inside of the dust jacket, as always, gives us a synopsis of the story, and ironically, a lot of this run takes place from a disaster that happened in El Paso. As this was coming out, I was living in El Paso, so I was like, that is super weird. So something happens in El Paso. They don't tell us what it is right away. We found out later, but it's kind of like a Planet Hulk situation. Something terrible happens involving the Hulk, so he decides to skedaddle and leave this planet and this universe. We'll talk about it when we see the prelude stuff, but basically Bruce Banner is able to change his psyche into 3 distinct parts. You have Bruce Banner piloting the Hulk. The Hulk itself is essentially a starship, and then you have the Hulk within himself in the engine room powering the starship, and they do so by having him fight waves and waves of enemy. There's a power level, and that's kind of what gives birth to the Titan Hulk. We'll talk about all that. So that's a synopsis of the story. The creators, Donny Cates. I got to tell you, man, around this time, man, Donny Cates was in his heyday. But like I said in the beginning, I'm pretty sure Donny Cates stopped writing comics with the end of this Hulk run, and he was doing Vanish on Image. He had some personal problems. He got into a car accident. He had memory loss. So he's been dealing with a lot. But man, Thanos wins. I loved Cosmic Ghost Rider. Was such a well-written character. Just a crazy mashup of characters to become Cosmic Ghost Rider. Then, of course, he did Venom and then the Thor run. Then you have Ryan Ottley. So he most known for Invincible. But he also did Haunt for Todd McFarlane as well. Marvel debut was with Amazing Spider-Man. And then you have Martine Coccolo, an incredible artist as well. So that is the synopsis of the story, a biography on the creators. You got some images of Hulk here. And of course, you've got that gamma green wraparound cover. I think it's okay. It's pretty cool. I don't really like the paneling aspect of it, but I like that it's a wraparound cover. Digging the colors, of course. And of course, you have to have big purple on the inside. So then we have this nice big kind of splash page, Hulk by Cates and Ottley. Here we have your credits and more credits, kind of a table of contents. Donny Cates wrote issues 1 through 10 of Hulk. He did the tie-in Hulk vs. Thor, Banner of War Alpha, as well as Thor 25 and 26, which are the tie-ins to that event. And then Ryan Ottley takes over for Hulk 11, 12, 13, and 14. And I got to be honest, in reading this entire omnibus just now, I didn't feel a drastic change or drop-off with the writing duties. It just seems like Ottley needed to step in to finish off the run, and I thought he did fine. So here is the free comic book day issue. It shows where Hulk gets the technology in order to transform his outer self into the starship. It involves technology from MODOK. Hulk comes in, destroys him with this big train. With Donny Cates' writing, it's very witty, it's funny, it's entertaining. And this is the kind of Weapon X-like visor that Hulk steals with other pieces of MODOK technology to become the Smashtronaut. So you do have some variants after the issues as well. Here's the cover for issue 1. This was kind of very reminiscent to me of the first appearance of Doomsday. And what we're looking at here is the engine room. This is where Hulk internally is separated from Banner in the engine room, while Bruce Banner is in the cockpit, and there's other figments of his imagination that visit him throughout this run. So Betty Ross is here, kind of trying to be the voice of reason. Hulk is in the engine room. This is all within Banner's mind. So then we have the Avengers, again, very kind of like Planet Hulk-esque, talking about the events in El Paso. What are we going to do with this Hulk problem? Iron Man sends in Hulkbuster. And when I'm reading Donny Cates' Iron Man, I'm like, I would have loved to see a Donny Cates Iron Man run. So he believes that Hulk's turned himself into a starship. So this is the last battle with Hulk and the Avengers on Earth. Stage 1 is showing the power levels here. So you can ramp it up from 1 to 10. Stage 1 is just, the novice level. It sends in the infinite armies. So Hulk's just destroying these waves of enemies in the engine room within Hulk's psyche to make the outer Hulk, the Starship Hulk, angrier and stronger, ripping off Tony Stark's Hulkbuster armor. Stark is saying, how did you know I wasn't in that armor? Hulk is saying, I didn't know. So pretty brutal. And this is the Iron Man armor from the end of King in Black. So that plays a little role in this story. But yeah, it was exciting. I read this first issue and I'm like, let's keep it going. Again, with the Art Adams variant afterwards, and then we're in issue 2. This felt very Invincible to me, but this was like a quick little scene that comes full circle later in the run. I'm going to stay away from spoilers as much as I can here, but very Invincible-esque, the way that Starship Hulk just plows through this kind of TVA of sorts. A flashback to the engine room. Now they're showing what happens with stage 2. It's the monsters get unleashed. So now he's fighting hordes of monsters, powering the starship. Stage 3, giant-sized Wolverine. So it's literally a humongous Wolverine that's fighting with the Hulk. Again, we're on level 3. The power and the anger is increasing on the outside while Bruce is piloting Hulk. And again, due to the events of El Paso, he's getting out of here. He's a danger to everybody and himself. So he is fleeing, and he gets caught up in this kind of, what do you call that? The UFO, like a tractor beam, and somebody finds the Hulk. I skipped that page to avoid spoilers. So in issue 3, it flashes back to El Paso. We don't know what happened, but we know that Bruce Banner looks like he killed a bunch of people. We find out the number later is like 17 people die, but it's a little bit more nuanced than what we see here. Then we get a glimpse into what's happening inside the Hulk. See, while you have Hulk bottled up in this engine room, fighting hordes and waves of enemies, his rage is building up. And what happens when Bruce Banner gets angry? The Hulk appears. So what happens when the Hulk gets angry? Something else appears. And that's where we get the Titan Hulk from. So here is kind of a flashback story to this new Earth that Hulk finds himself on, traveling through the starship. Again, very much like Planet Hulk. Instead of that whole gladiator world, what is it? Sakaar? Is that planet? He's on this other planet where things have transpired differently than they did on Earth 616, and they basically have all these Hulks everywhere. and the people of that planet have been not only weaponizing them, but like the rejects, the abominations, they've been shooting them off into space, which will come full circle a little bit later. Here's stage 4 of the engine room. It's the Marvel zombies. So very cool. You have the Starship Hulk is getting crazy, fighting, getting more powerful as the interior Hulk in the engine room is fighting hordes of Marvel zombies. And now we'll just flip through here. This planet has a giant man spider, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, like infused with the Hulk. Then we have issue 5. Let's just kind of power through this because this is the first arc. And again, I don't want to give spoilers because I feel like this run got slept on, man. And I think maybe I should have read issues 1 through 5 over again to really grasp what Donny Cates was trying to do here. But the engine room is a cool idea. Here's stage 6, fighting hordes of demons. We get to kind of see all the power levels. Like, what's the strongest thing? Well, you can kind of refer to this book and see what's stage 1, what's stage 4. So it's pretty cool how, like, Donny classified Marvel characters in their power levels, I guess you could say. Here's Hulk 6. This is the cover for the dust jacket. This is stage 9 where he's fighting the cosmic being. So Galactus, which looks like Hulk for some reason. Thanos, the living tribunal. So that's kind of what I'm saying, like the cosmic entities being the top level. So then we have the whole Titan Hulk arc. Again, we kind of explained what that was. So Hulk's on this planet with all these Hulk monsters. Titan Hulk gets unleashed. I love this scene here of Hulk escaping the engine room in Bruce Banner's mind. So he also deals with a lot of psyche stuff with Hulk. Like half of this story is in Banner's mind. And then when he has the helmet on, that's kind of how you know this is Starship Hulk. So, okay, Hulk versus Thor, Banner of War. I thought this was just like some kind of slugfest, but it's actually really interesting what Donny Cates did here because you have Thor speaking to somebody internally with the hammer, with Mjolnir, and I don't really want to spoil too much of that. And then you have Hulk talking internally because it's Banner talking to Hulk within his psyche. So you have these two most powerful heroes from the Marvel Universe. They're fighting each other. They both have like these internal monologues. And then you have the problem that Hulk's facing now. He's building up the Titan Hulk, and it's causing his Hulk to spread, right? So I don't really want to spoil too much, but we will give this out. This is just kind of a glimpse of that. You see how this random guy gets changed into Hulk? So that's kind of what the Bruce Banner, the problem he's facing now. His Hulkness is spreading, and when it gets pushed to the brink while fighting Thor, it causes a massive gamma explosion, which then changes Thor into the Hulk. So now you have a hulked out Thor, and then you have a Starship Hulk. Cool things happen with Mjolnir. I don't want to spoil too much, but actually really revisiting Banner of War, I was like, this is kind of cool, man. I think this kind of went over a lot of our heads maybe when we were reading it as it was coming out. All right, then we're back onto Hulk 8. So, man, Beta Ray Bill. This is still tie-ins from Banner of War. It ends here. Then it jumps into Hulk 9, where you get introduced to this character, Monolith. She's a pretty cool character. Bruce Banner's going to therapy with like this virtual reality Doc Samson. That comes to play a little bit here. But then Donny does what Donny does best, man. Talking about addiction and trauma and stuff that he probably experienced in real life. I think he really translates that well to a comic book. Again, it does remind me a lot of Planet Hulk. Then you have like the strong female character. You have this planet that Hulk finds after the events of Banner of War. He's fleeing that scene, basically like how he fled Earth. And then he finds this new planet that has all those abominations that were cast out from the first planet he visited. And then we have this cool interaction with Hulk and these other kind of hulked out monsters. They play this game called God Ball with the cores of planets that they slap around. So that's pretty cool. Then we're going back to the stage 1. So I don't want to give too many spoilers because this is basically the end of the arc. This is where Ryan Ottley not only does the artwork, but he finishes off the writing as well. But yeah, I really dug this run, man. Rereading it, it's a quick read. You have a lot of pages that it just lets the artwork tell the story. It's very kinetic. It's very action-packed. I think it does have cool concepts. So I don't remember why I disliked this so much, man. I think I just didn't get it. Now, the only thing I don't like about this run, and I think this is not really Ottley's fault, I think he just kind of had to wrap it up. It ends on issue 14, and they kind of show who was behind everything. And it's kind of like, oh, so you just introduced this character in the last issue. And I don't know. I didn't really like the ending, obviously, but they kind of leave it on a cliffhanger. Maybe it'll get picked up somewhere. But man, I dug the story. The end of the omnibus has other variant covers that were not added throughout the pages. So here we are, some Banner of War stuff, some connecting cover stuff, J. Scott Campbell, Hulk and Thor. You have Junjin Yoon. There's some Alex Ross timeless variants that were happening around this time as well. I think that's the last one with Abomination and Leader, Scotty Young. But yeah, man, that is the Hulk Omnibus by Donny Cates. I really liked it on the reread, you guys. Give me your thoughts and comments down below. I appreciate you watching, and stay minty fresh. Peace.